Hello everyone, I'm Tammy and welcome to my craft room here at Creative Girl Vintage. I've just designed a new paper crafting bundle for you guys, and so I want to share in this video everything that's inside of this bundle. I'll let you know where you can grab yours, and the best part is we are going to make a little vintage soul paper doll journal. Everything you need to make this journal is in this bundle, and I hope you'll stick around to the end because there's a little freebie in here for you too, and it's the cutest project, and we're going to make it, and it pops right inside of our journal when we get finished. So you guys, this is going to be some serious crafting fun today, and my hope is that you guys will enjoy this as much as I loved putting this whole thing together for you. So you know what? Let's get this crafting party started, shall we? Let us open up our Vintage Soul journal bundle and look at everything we got inside here. Okay, that aside, let's just untie this yarn. And of course, we have a beautiful image here of from a vintage paper doll, and I'll tell you in a little bit where that came from. But here's all kinds of goodness inside of here. So let's take all of that out. And on the back, I told you there was a little cute freebie project that we're going to do. So I'm going to set this aside as well and just tell you real quick about the journal. This journal is, let me see, 5.5 by 4. There is 48 blank pages inside, and this is like a craft paper, and it's heavy, it's nice, and it's stitched right up the spine. So this is a really fun little foundation for our journal today. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is let's just take out our images here and let's get them ready for the journal. So that'll be our next step here. I'm going to use my little cutter bee scissors. They're always the best for all this little fussy cutting that we're going to do. And we're going to cut out the little journal belongs to the Vintage Soul and our little girl here. So I'm going to start with the little girl because I wanted to tell you about her. One of my subscribers, Vicky, had contacted me and said, my neighbor, Archie, is downsizing and wants to get rid of a bunch of stuff that's just been laying around the house. So he has a box of vintage paper dolls, and I was wondering if you might be interested in them. So Vicky and we made a deal, and I got this giant box of vintage paper dolls in the mail from her. And so she had a little bit of money from me to tuck in Archie's coffee can, and they were saving that so they could go out to lunch together. So I have to tell you, it was a just win-win overall for everybody. And Vicky, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I truly appreciate it. And Archie, I appreciate you so much too, that you took such good care of these through the years, and you were willing to pass them on for a new life. And believe me, they went to a really good home. And I hope you guys enjoyed your lunch. And thank you again. So this was a gorgeous little paper doll face. I didn't use her whole body. I may be using it in another project. It's fabulous. And the bow on here is actually off of one of my vintage birthday cards. And I just married the two together to come up with this little gal that we're crafting with today. All right. So she's all cut out. And you know what? A little earlier, let me just move these aside here. I went ahead and cut out these other little pieces just so they would be ready. And I think I'm going to ink these up just to give them more of a vintage feel. And today I'm going to be using the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and this is Vintage Photo. The color I'm using is Vintage Photo. So I'm just basically just going to go around the edges of my work today and put a little vintage spin on this whole thing. Usually when you guys get paper crafting kits from me, I print on a cardstock this here happens to be, this paper I used, it's falling somewhere between regular printer paper and cardstock. So it's right in between. It's a really high quality paper, and you're going to love the feel of it. It's really shiny, and it's just beautiful. I think the images just printed on there just better. I mean, it's just so, it was so nice. So I think you're going to enjoy that too. All right, so those are inked up. Our paper's ready, and I'm just going to set these aside just for a moment, and let's get our journal back out. So, in all this pretty stuff, let's get all this pretty stuff out here. And on the back, there's a paper clip. I'm going to grab the paper clip just for the sake of kind of holding this journal together so it's not flopping open. Because what I want to do here is I just want to lay everything out and look at it first before I commit to using the glue. Now, there's a lot of pretty little things in here. So you guys, listen, this is just kind of my take on what I'm doing with my journal. But you can do whatever it is you like with all these pretty pieces. The first thing I'm going to start with, this is actually vintage lace. I found this at the flea market in a big roll many moons ago, and I was looking for a project to use it for, and this couldn't be more perfect. I love the way this kind of ran down the spine on this side, and the ruffle side of this lace, the scallop side I should say, kind of lays over the side. I thought that looked really pretty. I've made this a little bit bigger for you. I'm going to cut it off kind of even with my journal and saving the scrap because we're going to be using some of that. And so we got to save everything here. And so next, this is pretty. This was off of a wide ribbon, and I'm going to lay that on there as a layer. And oh, I love this. This is like a polka dot tulle. I actually found this like in a bridal section. Isn't that so pretty? And I'm going to pop that over the top. And for mine, I'm not going to cut this. You can see it's just kind of floppy over the sides, but I like that. I think that looks really good. Okay, next we have, here, let's use this. Just a little scrap of kind of an off-white lace, maybe right there. And this is a beautiful little rose trim, isn't it? And on my journal, I put it right here, and I gave you extra on this guy as well. So right here at the end where kind of that one flower ends, I'm going to cut off like a little flower and a little greenery. Put that aside. We're going to be using that later too. Okay, so I'm going to lay that one on the bottom. And let me see, here she is. Let's get our little paper doll girl back out here again. So maybe right there for her. And let's bring out Vintage Soul. I know I'm a vintage soul, and I know a lot of you guys are too. So I know we share that. Kindred Spirits, Vintage Souls. Okay, so we're going to lay that one right there. I mean, that's a good spot. It could be anywhere. Look at these. These are really cute. I've got 2 of these for you in here. I think there's like 12 pieces in here, not counting kind of the project we're going to do at the end. But these are darling little appliques. I'm going to put one of those aside. And I like that kind of right there. Well, you know, kind of like where the journal would open and close. And then I have for you, there's 3 vintage buttons in here, truly vintage. An old sewing factory in South River, New Jersey that closed down. And one of my friends had access to some of the stuff inside, and he got these for me. So I love these buttons, and I've been sharing them through the years with my crafting. One of the things you could do here is grab some embroidery thread or even regular thread and just string it through your holes and tie it off. And that way it's just another little layer. It looks like they're sewed on to the journal. Okay, so right now I'm liking the way this is looking. And what I would do here at this point is I'm just going to slide it all off here because that's kind of going to be the layout. And I think I'm ready to commit for some glue. So let's do that next. All right, if there's some crafting supplies that you guys are interested that I'm using today, as always, I will be linking them in the description box below this video. Okay, so we have our journal, we have our little layers we want to go on. I'm going to start with my Scotch Create glue stick for my first layer. And what I'm going to do, and believe me, I learned this just from, you know, messing up, of course, is I'm just going to lay, this is just a scrap of cardstock. I'm just going to lay it between my pages and my cover right here, just to protect my pages. What I did was I took my glue and I got just kind of a little crazy with it over the sides like this. And what happened was it actually, my cover kind of stuck to my pages. So I just don't want that to happen to you guys. So, you know, pop a little something in there and just be kind of mindful when you go around your corners where you're not like scraping your glue stick right around that corner where that glue, you know, is going to stick to everything underneath it. Okay, you know how it is. We learn from all those little mistakes down the line. All right, I'm going to lay my first layer on right here. And I really loved this little journal, this craft paper, and this little stitched spine. And so I didn't cover up this entire journal. You know, that could be something you might want to do. You might have some scrapbook paper or some fabric. You want to maybe put a cover on first before you put your lace on. You know, it's just totally up to you. All right, now I'm going to move to the Fabrifix glue for this one. And let me see if I could get my, there we go, got that off. That off there. And I'm just going to use the Fabrifix on this next layer here. And you know, before long, I'll probably get my glue gun out because I can't resist. So I got all kinds of glue going for this project. It's like I can't stick with one glue. I gotta have a whole variety. All right, and then my next layer, I had decided I wanted to put this bridal lace right here. And I'm gonna do that again with my glue stick. And just by kind of putting some little dabs here and there, and that's going to hold that on perfectly. I thought the glue stick really worked best for this. Okay, I'm just going to center that on there and just secure it down. It'll dry there in a few seconds. All right, so, okay, I'm covered in glue, but that's okay. We're going to keep going forward. I'm going to use this little piece of lace next. I think that'll look nice, like right there. And this pretty rose border, that's going to go right here. We'll just use the Fabrifix on that also. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to get our little girl out here. And, okay, I can't help it, you guys. The hot glue's got to come out. I want some instant gratification here. I'm going to lay that down right there. And beautiful vintage sole right there. Okay, that's looking good. And then, of course, you know what? I'll behave myself and I'll go back to the Fabrifix glue. Kind of works better for this anyway. And I'll put my little flower right there. And then we have our buttons. I had an extra one there for some reason. And now I am probably just going to hot glue my buttons right in place here. Oops. Okay, right there, and one more little button right there. Oh, it's looking really sweet, isn't it? I'm going to flip it over. Now that everything's glued on, let's just do a flip. And remember this piece of lace that we cut off the front? Let's cut off a chunk of that. And I am going to put just a little Fabrifix glue right here. And put my little lace piece right on top of that. And grab my second little applique flower. And, all right. I think my glue's getting empty. Okay. And I'm going to lay that right there. Just for some extra sweetness. I mean, isn't that cute? Okay, so let's flip this back over. I think it might be safe to say we can take this out. We might want to give it a few seconds to dry. And all right, now we're going to go on to our little bonus project inside, and then we'll put our finishing touches on. All right, so in the back of your bundle, you'll find the little thank you card, and you'll find this another little scrap of lace here. And let's go ahead and open up our journal, and we are going to attach this lace to the inside cover here and make a pocket. Excuse my glue mark there. I actually got ahead of myself a little while ago and had to like do a little redo. You know, sometimes shooting videos is not for the weak of heart. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so I glued on this piece of lace the bottom and the sides, left the top open here. And so you can see this is going to form a little pocket. All right, so that looks good. We're just going to let that dry. And let me get some of this glue off my fingers so I can operate here. Okay, on your little thank you card, you'll see another little image of our paper doll girl. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rough cut around her like so. Nothing fancy yet. Okay. And you will also find 3 sheets of scrap paper. Yes, I put the scrap paper in there for you so you don't have to go scrounging around looking for scrap paper. It's all ready to go. And I'm going to lay my image on that scrap paper and lay my thumb down here to hold it all together, okay? Taking my little cutter bees, I am going to just stay mindful of, that I'm holding this together with my left hand here. And I'm going to go around and just fussy cut her out with those 3 pieces of scrap paper at the same time, okay? So just kind of take your time, and everything's going to be the same size when we get finished here. Okay, I just move my hand around so I know I have a secure grip on everything. Okay. All right, we're almost there. Okay. All right. All 4 layers are the same. Let me just get these scraps out of the way here of our work. All right. So everything's laying there the same. How about we grab out, we had a little bit of that lace still left. I'm going to grab a little piece of it and just cut like a little tab off. I'm going to lay that right there. Now let me get this back up in my hand again where it's all together. I'm going to lay my little tab right there, and I'm going to grab my stapler, and I'm just going to staple right at the top of her head, all 4 layers with that little tab. And then we had this cute little leftover from the front. Here, let me just do that with a little hot glue. That was easy enough to grab, and I'm just going to put the little flower right there on the little tab. And let's see here if we're drying. Yeah, I think we're getting there. So we're going to take our little girl, who now is a cute little notepad. She's a tiny little notepad, and she can stick right here in her little pocket inside. And then this journal belongs to, I'm going to take that, the last little piece in our kit, and lay that right there. And there you go. There's a tiny little notepad stuck in her pocket. And you guys, 48 pages here. This journal is your oyster. You can pop this in your handbag. I have a sunroom that I keep my journals, and I read in there, I pray in there, I do all the things in there in my sunroom, and I have one of these on the table, and it just looks absolutely adorable. So we close this up. Let's take our yarn. This is a beautiful wool blend yarn. I thought this was so pretty, and you can tie this anyway. I'm going to put it like so and flip it and do a little crossover in the back. And bring it back to the front and just tie it up in a little bow. This makes a great handmade gift for a friend as well too. So you guys, this journal bundle is absolutely made with love, and you can find it in my Etsy shop. The link to my shop is below this video, and I really hope you enjoyed this project. I had so much fun making this project for you guys, and I absolutely loved it. I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you do so. I think this is video number 106. There's a lot of crafting out there for you guys to enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you on our next creative project. Bye for now.